Hey there, and welcome back to the Deep Dive.
Whoa.
Today, we're looking at something pretty unique. It's about using older tech, stuff you might even have lying around, to tackle, well, modern connection problems.
Right. Specifically, Wi-Fi connectivity gaps.
Exactly. And our source is really cool. It's an audio clip from an amateur radio operator, Mike McCoy.
Yeah.
His call sign is WD4AM.
Hmm.
And he shares this really inventive homebrew project he put together. It kind of makes you think, how easy is it to get online if you live a bit off the beaten path?
Yeah, that's a huge question. And often the answers seem really expensive or complicated.
Sure.
But Mike's project, it's a great example of something else. The basic ideas behind, say, satellite dishes, amplifying signals, those physics concepts are universal.
Uh-huh.
And what's really neat here is how he just repurposed materials he had on hand.
Mm-hmm.
It shows that maybe obsolete gear isn't so obsolete after all. It can have, well, reusable parts or principles for today's problems.
Making things accessible.
Precisely. Making connectivity possible where maybe it wasn't before.
Okay, let's dive into it then. So Mike McCoy, he's in Lenoir, North Carolina,
Right.
and he explains how he basically turned an old DirecTV dish into a directional Wi-Fi antenna.
Yeah, he jumps right into the technical side.
He does. He mentions he's got other videos of custom antennas on YouTube, so he clearly knows his stuff. He's done this sort of thing before.
Seems like it.
So the core idea was getting rid of the LNB.
Right, the low noise block-down converter. That's the little thing on the arm that usually grabs the satellite signal.
Yeah, that piece. He took that off, and instead he put on a 7x7 copper plate.
And that copper plate is key. It acts as the element that interacts with the Wi-Fi signal, directing it.
Okay.
He talks about mounting it with an SO239 connector right behind the plate.
Which is?
Oh, it's a type of coaxial connector.
Yeah.
Pretty standard in ham radio, actually. It's known for being robust and good for signal transmission. So a solid choice for this kind of Wi-Fi modification.
Makes sense.
But, the really interesting part of the process, I thought, was making the reflector element.
How so?
Well, he needed to solder it, but apparently a regular soldering iron just wasn't cutting it. Not hot enough.
Oh. So what did he do?
He had to use a blowtorch.
Get out. A blowtorch. For a Wi-Fi antenna.
Yep. To solder the copper properly, I mean, it really paints a picture, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That's some serious DIY ingenuity right there. Maybe a little dramatic flair, too.
Huh. Definitely hands-on. He also mentioned cutting the copper, right?
Yeah.
Into specific shapes.
Yes, exactly. 2 diamond shapes.
Mm-hmm.
And he gives the dimensions about 9 3/4 inches each.
And those dimensions aren't random, I
They're
assume.
not at all. They're carefully calculated. They have to be tuned specifically to the wavelength of Wi-Fi signals.
Right.
So those shapes reflect the Wi-Fi signal effectively against the dish's parabolic surface, focusing and amplifying it.
So he's basically hijacking the dish's shape, which was designed to receive faint signals from space, and making it transmit or at least focus local Wi-Fi signals really strongly in one direction.
Precisely. He turned a receiver into a highly directional antenna for a completely different band.
That seems, well, it sounds tricky. Re-engineering something for a totally different frequency. Was it hard? And did it, work straight away?
Well, hard is relative when you've got the know-how, which he clearly does. The parabolic shape is a gift, right? It naturally focuses waves.
True.
But yeah, tuning it for Wi-Fi instead of satellite frequencies needs those precise measurements, the copper diamonds, the placement relative to the focal point of the dish. That's the clever bit.
Okay.
And the results. Even just testing it temporarily, he said they were pretty remarkable.
Yeah. What did he find?
He said, and I quote loosely here, already received about 9 different hotspot areas.
9? From where? He's outside town, isn't he?
Yeah, he lives outside Lenoir itself. He mentioned being about 7 miles from a Google facility, which is maybe 4 miles from his actual home.
Okay.
And Lenoir, the town proper, which is north of him, has legal public Wi-Fi hotspots available.
So he's miles away, possibly 4 miles or more from these town hotspots, and he's picking up 9 of them with this homebrew dish.
That's what he reported, yeah. Pulling signals in from quite a distance,
Yay.
Using his repurposed dish setup, tapping into those city Wi-Fi signals from outside the city limits.
Wow. Okay, that's seriously effective then. But, relying on public hotspots via a DIY antenna, are there downsides? Is it stable? What about speed bandwidth?
Oh, absolutely. Those are valid points. It's not going to be like having fiber to your home, right?
Right.
Performance depends heavily on things like weather, any trees or buildings in the way line of sight is pretty crucial for these frequencies. And of course, you're limited by the speed and capacity of the public hotspots themselves. They might be congested or throttled.
Okay.
But look, as a way to get any connection where there was none, or maybe as a backup, it's potentially a huge improvement, a game changer, like we said.
Yeah, I can see that.
And Mike, he sounds like this is just another project for him. He mentioned building lots of antennas for different radio bands before.
Right, he has that ham radio background.
Exactly. Deep experience in manipulating radio waves. He sounded pretty excited about finding a permanent spot for this Wi-Fi dish, maybe on his house, maybe a tripod, and even building more designs.
So wrapping this up then, we've got Mike McCoy, WD4AM, taking an old satellite dish, something most people might just throw away,
Yeah, e-waste,
and
basically.
turning it into this powerful directional Wi-Fi antenna with some copper know-how and a blowtorch.
Can't forget the blowtorch.
Definitely not. And the fact that it works so well right off the bat, pulling in signals from miles away, it just speaks volumes about, ingenuity and making do, problem solving.
It really does.
But beyond just this one cool project, what's the bigger picture here? What can we sort of take away from this?
Well, I think it really connects to that whole idea of digital equity, bridging the digital divide. It shows how a bit of creative thinking, maybe some technical skill, can create access where, the big commercial solutions aren't available or affordable.
Yeah.
So it kind of prompts you, the listener, to think, what stuff do you have lying around? What seemingly obsolete tech might actually have hidden potential?
Huh. Interesting thought.
Or just thinking differently about connectivity problems in your own community. Sometimes the best solutions aren't the most obvious ones. They might come from unexpected places, maybe just a bit of that DIY spirit.